let's go ahead. Let's dive in to tonight's session. Are you guys ready to learn the three secrets? The three secrets to a widely successful nutrition business. Go ahead and put yes in the chat if you are ready.
Oh, I know. It's like, I see so many people online, like no one's commenting. Are they sleeping today? Are they tired from the beach? Memorial Day? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, that's right. Happy Memorial Day. Yes. And for those of you that don't know who we are, my name is Javier Carlin. I'm a physical therapist. And this is Marissa Carlin.
Woo! Newly married.
Yeah, and she's a dietitian. And we're the co-founders of Healthcare Business University and the creators of this amazing group with all of you rock stars in here who are ready to crush the rest of 2022. Can you believe in 2 days, it's June 1st. We're halfway through the year. Nuts. Time is flying by, right? Where does the time go? It goes by like this. And so how many of you are ready to absolutely crush all of your goals for the rest of 2022, the rest of the 6 months that we have left? Go ahead and put I'm ready in the comments below if you're ready to take on the journey of entrepreneurship. Yes, beautiful. So how many of you have realized that there are people out there, right, that you're probably, seeing on social media or that you know of that seem to be absolutely crushing it in their business, right? They're just like, everything goes their way, they're super successful. And you've probably seen people on the other spectrum where they don't seem to like gain as much traction. And it seems like it's a lot harder for them. And you probably, start to wonder, well, why is that? Like, what is the difference that makes the difference, right? And, you might be thinking like, is it that they have a better niche? Do they have better content? Is it just like, how they present themselves on social media? Like, what is it about them? Is it just them? Do they just have it, right? And so some of those things can definitely play a role, but honestly, there's a lot beneath the surface that most people don't know about, that most people don't see, that actually makes someone successful, right? Kind of like how, the overnight success, the quote unquote overnight success, they go from being known to or not, no one knowing them, to being really well known. And it seems like it happened overnight. You're like, oh my God, this person just like blew up, right? But there were months, if not years, of them doing the work behind the scenes to get there. And what you're seeing is like that iceberg at the top. Mm-hmm. And so what we're going to cover today are those, those small hinges that swing big doors that when you implement into your own life, you're going to start to see these results a lot faster. Okay. And for some of you, you may have heard some of this before. You might have heard a couple of these and you're like, oh, well, it's very easy to dismiss it as something you've heard before. But the fact is that what you want to do instead is you want to ask yourself, well, I do know these things, but how good am I actually implementing this into my life? Because if you know the things, but changes haven't been happening, it's not because these things don't work. It's probably because you might not be 100% implementing them or being consistent with them in your own life. And so, doing 50% or 25% of something that really works is going to get you like half or none of the results. And so you have to really go all in. Go ahead and put all in the chat, all in. Okay. And for some of you, you have never heard any of these before, and you really want to soak this in, take it in, jot some notes down, and think about how is it that I'm going to implement this into my own life. Sound good? Perfect. All right. So who's ready for the 3 secrets? Go ahead and put 3 in the chat if you are ready. Okay.
3.
3. Awesome.
Perfect.
All right. Secret number 1.
Secret number 1. Everyone put secret number 1 in the chat. It's not going to be a secret anymore because we're going to tell you and all the Facebook is going to know. But the secret is speed wins. Speed wins. Go ahead and put speed wins in the chat. So let's talk about what we mean by this, right? Have you guys ever heard the phrase or us say something to the effect of imperfect action is better than perfect inaction? Which means it's better to just do the thing, even if it's not perfect, versus waiting and waiting and waiting until you have the perfect moment, the perfect time, the perfect program, the perfect audience, the perfect Facebook group, the perfect Instagram, the perfect this, the perfect that, to actually do the thing. Okay. So first of all, also, let me ask, does anyone ever get held back by perfectionism, right? Perfectionism is a thing, right? Everyone, I think, to some degree deals with perfectionism a little bit here and there. I know I have, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So how many of you guys suffer with a little bit of perfectionism? Maybe you're spending too much time trying to see if things are perfect, right? Let's see in the chat. Oh yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yep.
Definitely. 100%. Right. I think, like Marissa said, we all struggle with that at some point in our life. But for many of you, if you've dealt with perfectionism, or if you currently feel like you're dealing with perfectionism, right, how far has that gotten you? And really let that sink in. I know it's not easy to let that sink in, but do you feel like perfectionism is holding you back? Because some of you might hear the phrase, oh, imperfect action, like I get it, but are you still letting perfectionism hold you back? And this is what I'm talking about when it's like, it's easy to know something, but how about actually doing it? And so where in your life right now are you holding back when you know you got to go? When you know you got to just take action and just go for it and do it? How many of you know what I'm talking about? Say I do in the chat if you know what I'm talking about. Okay.
Oh, I'm wearing a shirt. It says I do.
I do. There you go.
I
do. Exactly. And the fact of the matter is, right, is that nothing is ever perfect in entrepreneurship. It's an ever-changing, ever-evolving journey. And every single day you learn more and more and more about your customers, right? And so what you start to realize is that the only way to learn and the only way to actually ever quote unquote perfect anything or get it as like really good as possible, right, is by just doing the things and taking action.
Yeah.
Right. Go ahead and put taking action in the chat. Taking action. Yes.
Yeah. Absolutely. So like one of the common sticking points that we see for a lot of dietitians and nutrition coaches is they really just get stuck on like their program. Like that's one of the main sticking points that we hear a lot. And they're like, oh, but like I'm waiting like for the perfect program. And like, I'm doing all this like research, and we love doing research on your ideal client, trying to figure out like their needs, their desires, how we can really help them as dietitian nutrition coaches. Right. But sometimes, and this was me in the beginning too, it was like I wanted this perfect program because I really wanted to make sure that my clients are getting the best results, that my program is the most perfect program for them, because I truly care about the people that I work with, and I want them to get the best results. I don't want them suffering anymore. Right. And I'm sure maybe a lot of you guys feel the same way too. It's like, I really want this nutrition program to be perfect. I want to make sure that my clients are happy with me, that they get results. And, we're never going to know that if that perfect program that we're creating is on paper or on our Google Doc or just stuck in our computer, saved on like a Word doc. The only way to really figure out if it's perfect or get it closer to being perfect, because it's never going to be perfect. It's always going to be ever changing, evolving, and you're always going to be making enhancements to it. But the only way to get it there is to actually put it out there, to actually get clients, right? To actually test your product, your program, your services on clients and get their feedback, right? Figure out what they need and start adding and enhancing your program, right? You can have the foundation, put it out there. It's going to be imperfect in the beginning, but your client's feedback is what's going to help make it perfect.
100%. And just think about this example, right? How many of you play a sport? Let's say basketball, right? Let's say, do any of you play basketball? Put basketball in the chat if you do. But who is going to get better? Let's say you don't play basketball. You've never held a basketball in your life. Okay. There's two people. All right. Let's just say for this example, it is me and Marissa. Okay. And so we've never played basketball in our life. Okay.
Not really.
I have a basketball. Okay. Marissa has a basketball. And for the next month, okay, we both suck. Right. And we're studying like how to, hold the ball, how to dribble the ball, how to shoot the ball, the, angles and the mechanics and all the stuff that goes into shooting the basketball. Right. And so we decided one day, well, Marissa decides, hey, you know what? I'm actually going to shoot this ball.
That's okay.
Right. And then she starts shooting. She misses everything. Everyone say boo, right? She misses everything. But guess what she does? She practices. She shoots the ball, shoots her shot, takes imperfect action, shoots for 30 days straight. Meanwhile, I'm still like looking at the YouTube videos and just like, all right, I really think that I got the right ball. Yeah. 30 days from now, who's going to be
You know what shot to take from where you're standing on the
I know
court.
where to put my fingers.
Okay.
Right. I know how far to flick my wrist.
Got
Right.
it.
I got everything perfect. And then I shoot my first shot. Who, after 30 days, because remember, time is flying by so fast, right? Speed wins. Who, after 30 days, is going to be a lot better of a basketball player and actually get the outcome that they're looking for, which is making the ball in the hoop, making the bucket, right? Marissa, of course. And now what happened to me? I wasted 30 days of my life holding a basketball. I didn't move forward. I didn't do anything. I wasted my time and I did not get the outcome that I was looking for, right? That's a clear example of taking imperfect action because she was not a perfect basketball shooter before, right? But she started to get better, while me, I took perfect inaction. I did not move the entire 30 days, right? Trying to perfect the mechanics of holding this ball and doing all the things. And guess what? I still sucked at the end of it, right? I didn't move forward in life, in business, in nothing. And so this is an example, right, that hopefully illustrates to you the power of just moving, of doing a thing. Even if you're scared, speed wins, first mover advantage. You got to move, you got to take action. You got to do it when? You got to do it. Put the word now in the chat. Now, right? Always now. Yep. Okay. If not, you're going to be wasting life, because at the end of the day, what is life made of, right? It's made of time. And if you're wasting your time waiting for the perfect day, waiting for something magical to change in your life, guess what you're wasting? You're wasting your life. How many of you say, I don't want to do that?
I don't want to do that.
I don't want to do that, right? No, of course not. So that's secret number one. Okay.
Secret number one, speed wins.
Speed wins. Okay.
All right. All right. Moving on to secret number two. Secret number two, write this in the chat, is their feelings versus your feelings. So their feelings versus your feelings. When it comes to this, we want to think more about helping our clients and how they're feeling versus how we're feeling. Okay, so let's break this down. Before this live stream, I did a quick Google search and I just asked Google, how many entrepreneurs are there in the US? And Google told me about 16% of adults in the US are entrepreneurs. Now, with that said, entrepreneurs or aspiring entrepreneurs, right? If you're in this group and you don't have a business yet, I'm still considering you in that bracket. Okay, you guys are a rare breed. 16% out of 100 is pretty rare. Okay, while majority of people in the US are working a 9-to-5, right, sitting in traffic every single day, working their butts off, you guys are deciding to do something different, right? And what happens when you guys have to do something different? Okay, you tell me, what do you guys feel when someone asks you to do something different, not normal, out of your norm? How does it make you feel? Put it in the chat. Does it make you feel maybe a little bit uncomfortable? Is it sometimes a little bit scary? Maybe you get like this weird feeling in your stomach. Sometimes it could seem a little challenging, right? Because it's not normal, right? And let's face it, entrepreneurship is not normal, okay? Hopefully one day, maybe it will be. But right now, it's not normal. Being an entrepreneur is not a normal thing to do. What is normal? Working a 9-to-5 until retirement. That's normal. Do you guys want to be normal?
I mean, if you're in this group, it shows that you're not wanting to stay the status quo, right? You're looking to do something different, something better, right? We don't want to be normal, okay? Mm-hmm. Right? No, absolutely not. Not if you're here right now, you know you want more. And so really, right, we need to be doing things differently. And like Marissa was saying, it might feel uncomfortable. Not even it might, it will feel uncomfortable, okay? And this is where the feelings kick in, right? This is where the feelings kick in. So let's see, we have Joyce here. Joyce says super uncomfortable, 100%. Mm-hmm. And guess what? That's a good thing, because that means that you're growing. That means that you're moving forward, okay? Lucy's scared, uncomfortable, absolutely. Yeah. Who else do we have here? We have Dr. Lee in the house, Eileen. Good to see you, Eileen. Tijuana, good to see you back in the house. Diana,
hey,
awesome.
Everyone.
Hey everyone. Gina, awesome. Right. So good to see you all. Thanks for hopping on.
Yeah.
And so, right, the fact of the matter is that you're not going to want to do certain things because you're thinking about whose feelings. Whose feelings are you thinking about here? your feelings. You're scared, you're worried, you feel uncomfortable, right? What are some examples of times where you probably felt this? Maybe recording video content, posting reels, posting content, sharing more about yourself and your business on social media. Maybe you felt a little bit uncomfortable about investing some money into a coaching program, right? Because you were scared, you really did it, you haven't done it before, right? Or maybe you have done it before and didn't get the outcome that you were looking for, right? But in all of this, whose feelings are you thinking about? Right? You're thinking about your feelings. And so what we have to do differently here is we have to flip that switch and start thinking about them. And who are them? Okay. Who is them?
Who is them?
Who is them? Who are they? Who is they? Right? Right. They are, number one, your future clients. Okay. We have to start thinking about the future clients that we want to serve more than our own feelings, because we're always going to feel those feelings, and those feelings are going to stop us from helping everyone else. Whose other feelings do we also have to be more concerned with when we're in business if we want to be successful, right? Sometimes the feelings of and the future feelings, I would say, of the people in our life, right? The people that we love, that we're doing this all for. And their feelings might also be a little bit scared and uncomfortable, but we have to fight for the feelings that they want in the future, which is more freedom, more flexibility, more happiness with you. And that can only happen through entrepreneurship and doing it successfully, right? And so what for most of you, some of you might have different answers here, but what's the reason that we're doing all of this for anyway, right? What is the reason that we're doing all of this for anyway? The idea of helping people with their health, with their nutrition, with their life. Like, why are we doing this for them? Many of you would probably answer, well, to help them, of course, right? To help people. That's why I'm in this. That's why I went into this in the first place. And for, many of you probably realize, well, I can actually help people more with how I think they should be helped in my own business, in my own, in my own entrepreneurial journey. I can actually help people the way that I see fit, right? Give them maybe more attention, a better process, a better system, right? Give them what you know that they need to completely transform their life. And so that's the key, is when you start to think about them, you start to think about other people and the changes and transformations that you're going to make for them. Guess what happens? All your fears go away, because you're starting to be selfless as opposed to selfish. And why? And guys, you really want you to get this, is someone who is selfish, thinking about themselves, going to get more clients and better results for their clients and have more success than someone who is out to help more people? Which one? Selfish or selfless? Which one? And I know it's not easy. I know it's things, right? But which one? Is someone who is selfish, thinking about how they feel, going to help more people than someone who is selfless and thinking about their clients and solving their problems and helping them transform their lives? Who is going to help more people, make more money, have a greater impact, and have a much better life, have the freedom and flexibility, all the freedom and flexibility that you desire, right? Selfless, 100%. We all know that answer. And then some people wonder, why am I still stuck? Why can't I move my business forward? Let that sink in. Now, every single one of you listening to this right now, I know that you have what it takes within you. I know that you want to do this because you love helping people. And because you love helping people, you're going to start putting them first. And when you start putting them first, guess what you're going to do? You're going to do everything in your power to help them. You're going to focus so much on them that you're going to forget about how you feel. And guess what's going to happen? You're going to find the success that you're looking for. Makes sense, right?
Awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. And, it may be it may be uncomfortable to record a video, right? But who needs it more? You or them, right? They're the ones that are struggling with weight, with body image, with confidence, with chronic diseases, right? They're the ones that are truly uncomfortable here. And so think about that.
Yeah. So number 3, secret number 3, last secret that we have for you tonight, put it in the chat, is model success. Model success. This one is about listening to your mentors, your coaches, people who are in a position where you want to be in a couple years, and, really having a conversation with them, doing what they say, taking it in, even if it's uncomfortable, and modeling their success. So we have a couple action items that you guys can take action upon starting today, starting now, right? In order to move your business forward and really, help the people that you want to help in your business. So first thing, when it comes to modeling success, is we have to determine what success means for us and who has that success, right? So, thinking to yourself, determining what you want to do with your career as a dietitian, nutrition coach, like what population you want to work with, what type of setting you want to work in. Hopefully, if you're in this group, it's something related to entrepreneurial, journey. And if you don't know yet, that's totally okay. You can discover that along the way. Heck, the more people that you talk to, the faster, right? Speed wins. The faster you're going to determine, which setting you want to work in, right?
Yeah, and just to add to that real quick, right? A big part of it as well is like, because there's a lot of people out there that are doing things a certain way that might not align with how you want to do them, right? It might not align with who you are and the type of person that you want to become. And so you also want to find people that have the same values as you, right? Whether it's like family, travel, right? And what is it that they're doing with their life? Are they doing the things that you want to be doing? Do they have the freedom, the flexibility that you want? Because ultimately, like, the money's fine, the money's great, and you want to be able to do that. But if that person doesn't have the lifestyle that you want as well, then, there's something that's not aligned there. There's a disconnect there. And so as you're modeling people, you also want to find people who are basically, living that lifestyle as well. And when you do that, you're going to be able to get there also, as long as you do what they say. That's the key, right? Yep. So just wanted to add that.
No, super important. So step number 2 would be, so finding those people who are where you want to be in your future, again, like financially, in their business, but also in their life, right? And reach out to them. Again, could sound a little uncomfortable, but we already talked about taking that imperfect action and speed wins. So reach out to them, reach out to these people. And then step number 3 is simply ask if they'd be willing to chat and provide some insight into how they got to where they are, right? It could just be, a Zoom call, a phone call, through Messenger. Javi and I are always happy to chat with other dietitians, RDs to be, who are interested in, taking the leap into their entrepreneur journey, or maybe they've started their entrepreneur journey and they're a little bit stuck. We're always more than happy to chat because we just really love what we do. And, I was once in your shoes, right? I was that clinical dietitian. I was struggling and I was not happy with my job. I was undervalued, underpaid. And I started my private practice and I did all of these things. I modeled success. I had mentors, I had coaches, and I would love to give back to the profession and, talk to you guys as well. And this is part of the reason why we do what we do. And we come on here every single Monday night, right? Is we chat with you, we provide insight into how we got to where we are today. And really that's it. It's modeling success. And, the key thing here is, again, it's not going to feel comfortable sometimes, and it's different, right? But you guys are on a different path. And with that path comes a new process. And so the key to it is following this person's process and trusting in their process.
100%. 100%. And, just to reiterate what Marissa said is speed wins, right? If your mentors, your coaches, other RDs that you aspire to be like, they've been in your shoes and they've done the hard work. They figured it out, and you want to listen to them because they have the shortcuts. And what you'll find is that many times what they tell you might not be what you want to hear. But the fact of the matter is that if you already knew what you wanted to hear and you were doing what you wanted to hear and the things that you knew, right? And if that was actually working for you, and if you want to stay exactly where you're at, then you have the perfect process already to stay exactly where you're at. And that's totally fine, right? But if you want something different, you have to do what? Do something different. Okay, do something different. And a lot of the times you'll hear things that might sound counterintuitive. It might not sound right to you. It might actually many times be the opposite of everything that you've heard before. And the fact of the matter is that because they took a different path, they got a different result, right? So like I mentioned, if you want a different result, you have to do something different. And it's always going to feel uncomfortable. Okay, so think about that. It's a game changer. Okay, and so with that, we have a couple minutes for some Q&A. So we're just going to open it up to open Q&A. Okay, any questions that you have about just about anything that you're curious about, go ahead, throw them our way. As you ask those questions, what we want to do is just give you an invitation, okay, to schedule a quick 15-minute business game plan call with us. We do this for free because we really love to give you clarity and direction on what you might need right now. And ask anyone who's been on these calls with us, they know that we truly want to serve you. And they always say like, wow, thank you so much for the resources, the trainings that you've sent me after this call, because let's just face it, not all of you listening right now might be a great fit. So if we think that you're a great fit and that we can actually help you, we'll tell you. And then it's your decision if you want to hear more about that on a second call or not. Right. But either way, like it's a free call. A lot of the people that get on these calls with us, these 15-minute calls, they get so much clarity and they're like, Javi, Marissa, like that was amazing. Like I just got so much clarity and I know exactly what I have to do next. Some people are like, wow, like people should actually pay you for this call, because just kind of telling you where I'm at and telling you, what's going on just allowed me to, put it all out there and feel a sense of peace knowing that, hey, this is what I have to do moving forward. And so if you're at that place right now where you either feel like you've plateaued, you feel a little bit stuck, and you want to figure out like, is there anything that I'm missing right now? Like, what am I not seeing? Then this call is going to help you do that. All you have to do, right, is go ahead and type the word game plan in the comments below. Okay, what'll happen when you type in the word game plan in the comments below is we'll shoot you a message. We'll ask you a few questions in the chat to see if it makes sense to hop on a quick call. If it does, like I mentioned, it'll be 15 minutes, short call to point you in the direction of all of the resources that we have in this community. It'll save you a bunch of time. That way you don't have to sift through everything. And again, like if we think we might be able to help you, we'll tell you. But no pressure. If you want to hop on a call, we can dive into what a more personalized solution for you would look like. We help people replace their income and escape their 9-to-5 for those starting off, for those a little bit more advanced. We help you get to the 6-figure mark and beyond that. And so if that's something that you want, great. If not, totally fine. But still comment the word game plan down below and let's at least have a conversation. Cool. So let's see. Do we have any questions?
I did not see any questions pop up.
Okay, beautiful. So no questions. Guess what? No answers. Awesome. So Lucy says game plan. You got it, Lucy. Sounds good. Let's see who else do we have here. We have Bo. We have Caro, Christiana, Nicolette. Beautiful. So awesome, everyone. Go ahead, comment the word game plan down below. We'll hop on a quick call, get to know each other a little bit more. If not, then we will see you next week, Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern, like we are every single week here, providing valuable trainings for you. All right. Hope you have a great night. Talk soon.
Night.
Bye.